Prime lights, shop lights, LED shop lights. Are they worth the money? Well, that's going to be up to you to decide, but here's everything you need to know about them without having to buy them. Help you make the decision. All right, these things come like this. You'll see these, which are called tombstones because they look like a tombstone, and they'll just be connected. Cut that little connection, pull them off. Take your little tombstone, stick it in the hole right here, facing inward, clamp it down. Same thing with the next two. And those tombstones are in place. You run down here, and here's where you start noticing some quality control issues that kind of bothered me a little bit. All right, you look at the end of that ground wire. That's not enough to put anything to connect to even a wire nut. It's just not stripped to the proper length. So we're going to have to strip that, no big deal, to the proper length, but quality control, that should have been done the right length. I bought two of these. The other one was, this one's not. And I mentioned quality control. I moved this ground wire over to here so that I can drill another hole here. And like your previous, or a lot of people have your previous shop lights, fluorescent ones, hung with a chain and a little hook that goes from hole to hole. So I'm going to take that off, drill a hole here, and just run the same hook and hang them just like I did the other ones. And once I took that off on the other one, I noticed that this is completely painted with the powder coat. So is it really getting a connection? And that's what you want to know. So is it making a connection? Now keep in mind, underneath here is a little star washer that actually digs into the powder coating. Kind of hard to see, but right under there. So it turns out that it is making a connection. I've checked the continuity between the wire and the pin, or the hinge here, and sure enough, it does make a good connection, which I kind of doubted. So that little star washer does work. The ground is working as it's advertised. Here's a really nice feature. And again, these items just pop right in. I'm going to cut this one loose as well. It looks like I might be able to pull that over. Well, we're going to cut it. So we're going to cut this one. And your little tombstones, once again, just pop in place. Now when you look at your bulbs, this will be your wired in where your electrical connections are coming. If you look at your bulbs, there'll be a logo on them. You want your logo end on the wired end, and that's in the instructions. One thing, when I was hanging this, that should come with a connector for this, but it doesn't. They cheaped out, and for the money, they could simply add. Went to Lowe's, bought a bag of these for $1.98 and get a whole bag of them. So it would cost them nothing when they're doing it at bulk. Let me pull one of these out and show you. To this little piece, piece right here breaks off. I'm going to break that off. Okay, that's broken off. This piece slides down into here and just connects right in. Just push it. That pops down in there. Get yourself an old computer cord like this one. Come down to the end. Cut it off. Strip the wires on this. When you're stripping it, be careful you're not gouging the wires that are inside here. Bring it down to here, strip your wires, run them in through here. The second piece that comes with this simply slides in a groove right here, and then it just keeps going tighter and tighter and holds your cord. And the whole thing can turn and spin, and that piece is holding your cord in there tight and it won't get pulled out. Now, why you couldn't send that piece with this, I'll have no idea. As I mentioned earlier, one of the nice features that I really liked was this little connection for wiring in. And I speak of quality control. This wire was poked out and just hanging loose on my other one that I just installed out there. And I'm looking at it, and I finally figure out that this wire here obviously goes into this slot. So I pushed it down in there. It didn't stay. I ended up calling them, and they said, push it down harder. It has teeth. And sure enough, if you push it harder, it does grip with the teeth, and it stayed. This little thing is really fancy here. I really like this. So what this is a disconnect. It's hard to hold the phone here to show you at the same time, but you can just push this. And it will disconnect, and you'll have two pieces. And it's just a fancy little deal. So if you look at the end of it, you have white and black. When you cut your cord and you strip it, just take your white wire, stick it in the white side. Same thing, it has teeth, it'll grip. Stick your black in there, and then you just plug this thing back together, and you're good to go. Take your green on your cord, put a wire nut after you strip that a little bit longer. Put a wire nut on that, green to green, and you're good to go there. So, yeah, they could have added this. They want to charge you $12 for a wire or cord that's ready to go and hooks right in there. $12 for a cord and a plastic fitting, no. They could buy these at bulk, add an extra 20 cents to the whole thing, and send that piece with it, as they should. Okay, so once you do that, you install your 3 bulbs. How does it look? Does it work? Let's find out. Yeah, you can see the difference between the fluorescent and the LED. The light really is incredible. It does put out quite a bit of light. So I am impressed with the brightness and the way that it works. Just don't cheap out. If you don't want to send us a cord, send a 10-cent piece that we can put our own cord in without having to run to the damn hardware store.